There we go, guys. Good evening to everybody. Put this over here. Don't need that on there. Let's see. Let's check the feed. Oh, yeah, she's working just fine. Geoff Nelson, what's going on? Good evening to you, depending on where you're at. Let me see here. Audio seems to be okay. Looks like she's working. Testing 1, 2. Makes a nice echo, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys like that? My daughter got me this hat. Love it. From SpaceX. Paul, what's going on, man? Good evening. Frank Kama. Good afternoon, Chris. Big fan. Appreciate that. American Rebel. Good evening, Dan. What's going on, bro? Diana Moore, I can hear you. That's good. It's showing it's working, so I guess we're doing good, right? Alice Vargas, yeah. I thought those were pretty cool. Figured I'd wear it tonight. Yeah, I was just testing that, Diane, when I had I have my other computer monitoring this feed, so make sure everything's working out well. That's probably why you heard that, because I'd go like that, you hear the echo to it. Let's see. All right. You're from Iowa. Sweet. Dennis Bailey. Check 1, 2. You got that right. Reach from New Hampshire. What part of New Hampshire? My mom, a while back, lived in Londonderry, just over the Massachusetts line. Michael Martin. Hey, Chris. Much love from Greer, Arizona. A lot in the sky out here in the mountains. Keep up the good work. Well, I appreciate it, man. Ricardo Tirado. Hey, Chris. How are you, man? I'm doing good, man. I hope you're doing okay as well. Flipped. Hi, hey, Chris. Greetings from Netherlands. Hey, what's going on? Good to see everybody in there. Paul McKenzie. Appreciate it, man. Oh, yeah. Diana Moore from South Carolina. Yeah, I lived in Myrtle Beach for a couple years. It was about a mile or two from the beach, right next to, excuse me, right off North Kings Highway. Right next to the Pavilion. And if you know where that is, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Crazy. Especially on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Nicholas Snyder, what's up? What's going on, bro? Oh, okay, Dennis. Seacoast area of New Hampshire. Oh, okay, cool. Familiar with London there. Oh, yeah. Oh, from a natural state. What's new scoop on Mars? Depends on how you look at it. Hope you caught my last video there, Lenny. Right from the word go, and I've said this a million times, that, they knew exactly what he was putting these rovers down, right? And when you got the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, as well as other orbiters mapping and just looking at the surface of Mars, and, of course, Gale Crater, because that's where they landed, at least the Curiosity. Like I said, it was no mistake. They didn't just go, like I said, pin the tail on a donkey kind of thing. There it is. We'll just go ahead and land there. We'll be good. So, this was all strategically planned out, So, yeah. Representative PA, Nicholas Snyder. All right, sweet. Oh, okay. Diana, you live in Aiken? Okay. I'm not familiar with that area. Wonder how far that is from the coast there. Eric Wood, good evening to you. Have you noticed in any of the photos from NASA things like creatures, cartoon-like creatures, all sorts of things that are obvious but put there by NASA? You know, a lot of people have been telling me that. I don't know what it is in my throat. It's getting itchy. But, you know, a lot of people had said the same thing to me. They said, hey, you know what, Chris, man, can you see that, like, what looks like faces all over it? And I don't know if that's just a pattern. Like, when you zoom into the photo, you can see all these weird patterns, right? And I wonder if that's what they're seeing. Now, I'm not saying it's a pareidolia thing. I'm just saying, is it possible that these things actually do make up what looks like little people or faces? Because one of the videos I had done, I don't know if it was the moon we just recently did before the prior to this Mars last video, and everybody's like, oh my God, there's faces all over that. I'm like, I don't see it. Of course, I wasn't paying attention to that, right? I'm actually looking for the actual anomalies and trying to drag these things out, but you're not the first one to say that. Oop, keep hitting this mic boom. Hate it when that happens. Matt Hastings, howdy from Nashville. Yeehaw, love your work, man. Appreciate it. Will Martino, evening, brother. Evening to you. Gene Morissette, hi, from Quebec province and town. Do you think you'll work on Venus pictures that I sent to you? Yeah, believe it or not, I've actually looked at. I actually looked at one to started with it yesterday, and I looked at it, and yeah, I got some pretty interesting things in that. So stay tuned for that. It's a little different than Mars and the Moon, right? So yeah, stay tuned for that. This one here was really, really hard to bring out, though. I mean, the manipulation on these things is crazy. But again, if you pay attention to the lines, they take shape. And this one here was hard to take out, but you'll see what I'm talking about when you see it, because I probably only pulled up maybe 1% of what's really in the photo. And it's just crazy when you see it. It's just like, you know, I go out of my way to try to show you how they manipulated and obfuscated, just like I did with the moon. Of course, the moon was much more obvious, like the Chang 4. So yeah, pretty bizarre and cool at the same time. Roadwalker, I am a big fan from Istanbul. Guys, I don't know what it is with this itch tonight, but it's killing me. Let me see here. Check here. All right. I just want to check the other computer, make sure we're doing good here. Yeah, only about a few seconds lag. That ain't bad. Well, not really a lag per se. It's actually just the way it goes through YouTube. Let's see. Cindy Luhu. Hi, Chris. What's going on? Good evening to you. Val, hey, Chris. Hugs. What's up? What's going on? Good evening to you. Mr. T, I've been viewing nuclear explosions and looking for anomalies in the sky as weapon was detonated. Some things certainly grab my attention. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess you're referring to Mars and stuff like that. And like I said, man, you know, I've been thinking about that a lot too myself, and I'm wondering if, like when they seen the explosions in the atmosphere of Mars in 1941, I'm wondering if it wasn't something as simple as a couple of rocks colliding in the asteroid belt right next to Mars, right? And sent one flying or a couple into the atmosphere. And, maybe there was something on the planet that once it hit, it exploded, right? Of course, it had to be probably some kind of nuclear reactor in order to do that and have radiation all over the place, right? So it's kind of weird, man. When you stop and think about it, and then you look at all of the devastation and what looks like a cataclysmic event took place, you kind of try to put the pieces together, you know what I mean? Hold on, let me go ahead and do this. Sometimes these words, I don't know what it is. It's so small. There we go. It's much, much better. Diane Moore, yeah, you might be right. Pollen, maybe, because we have it like mad out here. It's crazy. Every now and then you just go into this kind of like coffin kind of spell type thing. And it was about 90 degrees here. I'm glad the bad weather passed. I don't know if we'll get more of it, but wind started picking up. It was like 27 miles an hour, which is not super bad, but enough. And it was hailing and everything else. So we didn't have any power flicker here, but nevertheless, I mean, I'm on battery backup, but it wouldn't take me long. I'd had to say, just go off the power go off. I just have to just sign off and be done. But it wouldn't just crash every computer I've got here right now because I'm running the two of them, two full setups. Which takes quite a bit, and it'll overload this battery backup I've got. If I run the one, not bad, but let's see. Let me go ahead and check that out there. Jean, Shadow Man. Yeah, that's I've seen that many times. You're showing that it's a shadow of a man on Mars seen in a NASA rover photo. Yeah, that's actually not even. It's not real. Jean Morissette or Jean, depending on how you pronounce it. It's actually the way the turd is on Mars. It's the way it folds up and everything. It gives that illusion like there's some person next to the actual rover itself. It's not. And there's a photo of it just like that. And there's another one similar to it. It's like a slightly different angle, and you can see exactly what it is. So, yeah. Last Dinosaur. Hey, Chris, just tuned in. Well, I'm glad you made it, man. Appreciate it. Rob Coppin, enjoy your vids. Good work. Thank you very much. Philip, what's going on, man? I'm doing good here. Lenny McDonald. I'm sorry, McDaniel. I'm sorry. I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. Which theory of the destruction of Mars do you believe? Truthfully, I don't know. Either one of them can kind of make sense. Like I just said earlier, I mean, is it possible that there was a living civilization on Mars and that they had, a couple of rocks in these and the asteroid belt right next to it, and a couple of them slammed. Of course, it sent it flying right into Mars, into its atmosphere itself, and it totally wiped the planet. Or as others believe that there was a civilization again, and either A, they had a warring with other beings and somehow got devastated because there was two large nuclear explosions in the atmosphere, one next to the face of Cydonia, just over it. And I keep forgetting the other. It's east, but it's slightly southeast of the Cydonia area, and it was smaller. That one there was much smaller. But nonetheless, again, if you go down south, and I'm not sure exactly how many miles because you'd have to have a scale type thing, but that's where the Curiosity rover is, and a lot of landers. Is it just is it just mere coincidence, or did they actually put it there on purpose to see what's really there? I believe they knew exactly what was going on there, and this is the reason why they were there to begin with. And like I said, they're checking out all the devastated, what's left over of that civilization that was on Mars. At least that's my take. That's only my opinion, nothing more, nothing less. And and here's the other thing. Here's another weird thought I had too. What happens in 1941 if there was something still alive there, and we decided, hey, we're going to take the planet over, right? And we just decided to take a rocket and put every germ we have here on the planet and just send it over there with a nuclear warhead to boot, and just boom, just set it off. Now you got anything that's could possibly be alive or would die because of anything we threw at it, as far as either nuclear or this concoction of germs and viruses to kill everything off on the planet. Because we'd never do nothing like that to other countries here on the planet Earth, right? Yeah. I'm not saying it's true. I mean, that's just a thought, and it's way out there. But is it possible? Anything's a possibility. And of course, it's pure speculation, but you just never know, right? Oh, it's starting to rain again. We'll see what happened, right? Let me see. Man, you guys just commented and went way up there. TR3B, going back to the moon in 2024. Pathetic. Well, yes and no. I mean, there's a big rush to get to the moon. And what's funny about it is, I'd be curious to see, just like when they go to Mars, what kind of photos and what kind of stuff are they going to give us, right? I have a feeling that you're not going to see like a person standing there, and then they're going to have, I mean, they may be kind of like the moon, right? They had like the astronauts showing these big rocks. And that's probably why that's all you'll see, as opposed to what we're seeing now from the actual rover and the past rovers, both Spirit and Opportunity. So, and of course, we go way back to the Sojourner back in 1997. So, you got four of them, and then in next year we're supposed to have the other rover go up there in 2020. So, I wonder what we'll see with that. You know what I mean? You notice how we always have like almost like two of them all the time because, like I said, we had the Opportunity. Spirit died first. It'll get stuck in dirt. And of course, it never made it back out. And of course, it died there, which I don't know how it does as long as the solar panels are still working. But, a lot of times they have to reposition these things at night just to get the maximum sun, and then it can start back over the next day. So, yeah, pretty crazy. Let's see here. Greetings from Seattle. One stoner, two cats. What's going on, man? Let's see. Why don't we hear anything about the dark side of the moon from China anymore? Seems strange. Yeah, Christopher Wood. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, we do, but they're pulling the same crap they did in Chang'e 3. Now, I'm not saying that they're all in the wrong here, but I think they're, like I said this before, they're bedfellows, right, with NASA. And all of these space agencies are actually working together. And, a lot of people say, well, what about back in the day when you had the Soviet Union, right? I don't think they were. I think the countries, even if they were warring or were against each other, it doesn't matter. The actual black ops, if you will, or the powers that be were that higher level were all together at the time, too. And I think this has been going on for years. And I think they've been working together for years on this. So instead of having so much just the United Nations, but you got a United Space Program. And I think that's the case. And yeah, I mean, you remember what they pulled in with the Chang'e 3? They literally said, well, the U2, the YUTU rover said it quit working. Well, in fact, it didn't. They said that it failed to close its solar panels when it got cold, and therefore the components froze, and it became, basically a rock there. It just died right there, which wasn't true because there was ham radio operators here on Earth that could still hear it ping. And even the rovers on Mars do that. They'll ping. So if the Mars turns, it's still at night, it'll still ping just to say, hey, yeah, I'm okay. So, and they knew this. So they're going, of course they flagged BS on them, saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with that rover, man. We can hear it pinging. It's still doing it. So, and then they said, well, yeah, it's working right now, but then we're just going to kind of, we're not going to say nothing to the public anyway. They actually said this in so many words that we're going to continue on its science, call it project, if you will, or science. We're going to continue with science, what it's doing, and that's pretty much it. And they didn't tell the public anything else after that. Same thing's going to happen with this one here, guarantee it. And they're already kind of like in the dark, leaving us in the dark about it. But, it is what it is. Can't do anything really about it, Maria Tetrov. Hello, Chris from Iowa. Hello, good evening to you. Well, it'll be your what? Well, probably afternoon, late afternoon for you. Do you think the government knows who engineered us? I think they did. I mean, if you were to, look at other civilizations, if they found other civilizations on other planets here in our solar system, and they can see that they're much older and they were a lot like us, well, what's that tell you? They're going to say, okay, well, we at least know we came from there, maybe. Now, it's kind of like Prometheus, the movie, or Alien. You know what I mean? It's kind of like they're trying to find who our makers were, who we came from, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's go way back up here. Mark from, what is it, Max Sween. Hi from Scotland. What's going on? Good to have you in there. All right, let me see. All right. Swampy McGee, 2014 PSYOP was named Military Information Support Operations, MISO, then briefly renamed PSYOP in August 2014, only in return MISO shortly thereafter in 2015. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so much more going on than we know, right? And I've said this a million times because we got our everyday lives, and many people don't put much thought into this, and that's what the governments or these higher ups or the powers that be are hoping. Just listen, people, just get up in the morning, shit, shower, and shave, go to work. Just punch in. Go to work, punch out, come home, watch your little sitcoms, repeat the next day. That's what they're hoping. They're hoping you're not going to ask any questions. Just don't say a word, and that's the end of it. But but the inquiring minds want to know. Eric with thumbs up, guys. Yeah, smash that thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. Let me see. Oh, De Silva. Good night, Chris and you all. Oh, taking off already? Well, it must be late for you, too. Forgot about that. If you're leaving, man, have yourself a good night. Diana, more 100 degrees here today. Yeah, it was pretty hot here, too, as well. I think it got up to like 93. But the humidity is horrendous here. Let's see. Nicholas Snyder. I was watching The Martian earlier. At one point, he's like, I'm the first human to be alone on an entire planet. Nobody here for 4 billion years, and now me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, maybe because I'm just like so much into these the Mars photos and everything else. I was totally disappointed with the movie. It was great as far as entertainment, but I was like, yeah, he's starving, he's in a world of hurt, and somebody just maybe these beings will come out and help him out. And of course, I got disappointed. I was just so hoping, right? Maybe they come out from under the ground and help him out or whatever it may be. But yeah, that didn't happen. Kind of disappointed. Alex Vargas. This thing just jumped up on me again. I'm not going to try to find it again. I was just ready to read your comment and it just jumped up. Oh, can't find it now. It said something about the asteroids or something like that. Different frequencies and stuff. Let me see. Yeah, this thing just went way up. Man. It's like going back to the archives there, trying to find a... God. Skeptic optimist, yeah. Mars was once occupied based on the photos and a lot of the data that I've seen. And yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. I can't find this again. Phil Cox. Hi, Chris. What's going on, Phil? Good to see you in there. You can definitely tell Mars had water on it. Yeah, Diane, no doubt about it. I mean, of course they're admitting it now. There's a lot more that coming forth with a lot of that saying, yes, there's water on there, has been. And like I said, I've done it, some videos in the past saying they're going to come out with it, in the near future, going to say they're going to find a body of water. Now, they didn't find it, according to them, they haven't found it on top, but just below in a cavernous area, just underneath the pole. I believe it's the North Pole. And so, and it was shallow, but it was like a mile wide. It was crazy. American Rebel. I love the last video on the moon. You brought out some incredible stuff, undeniable stuff. Yeah, I mean, you don't think you're going to find anything until you start just trying to bring the stuff out and bring out the details. And then you're just kind of like, what in God's green earth is that? Yeah, I mean, crazy stuff, man. And then I hope you guys seen exactly how they're doing that as far as the manipulation, right? How they drop these layers on top of the original photo to really take out any kind of information. And that one there was most blatant. You can see it as clear as day, man. It's just crazy. And but you won't notice that until you get into raw plating of these photos and get right into it. And then you can uncover these things pretty easy. Nicholas Snyder. We at least know there's a lot of stuff they don't want anyone, or everyone rather, at once to know about right now. Yeah, got that right. Andromeda Native. YouTube just blacked out a live vid on Miss Gina Marie, Calvin's site, for her showing her photos, what she thinks are UFOs. Lady is so sweet, and this photos are insanely good. Yeah, I know. I think if it's the one I think it is. Wasn't she the one that did? It looked like she had like a photo of like it looked like a bunch of UFOs in the sky, and I think it went kind of viral. Pretty crazy too. Photography, light and magic. Hi, Chris. My name is Alan, and I'm from Scotland. Oh, good evening to you. I've been following your channel for quite some time, and I love your work. Well, I appreciate that, man. All we can do is just bring this stuff out, and of course we can get you guys suggesting too. Where you want to go next with this, as far as like what other things you want to expand to. Like I said, I'll be doing one on Venus, and what was the other one here? I got quite a few actually coming up. I've got work on 2 computers in Photoshop, so yeah, it's kind of crazy. Hey, yes, Woodman. Hi, Chris. Finally made the live show instead of watching recordings. Great insight and ammunition that sees through NASA's cover-up through the NWA agenda. Yeah, I mean, I love going into these photos. I'll tell you guys why, and you guys do the same thing because I know a lot of you guys actually jump in these photos yourselves. I love trying to uncover what could possibly be in these photos. I didn't think in a million years I'd find quite the stuff I found in the moon photo, right? And when I did, I was just like, "What is that?" So of course, now you're really crazy. Like it's almost like digging. You see the very top of it, and you're like, "Oh my God, what is that?" You want to uncover the rest of it, and that's yeah. So that's what I love doing. Let me see here. Pyramid 1974, cool shirt. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I like it a lot. What's the joke did you? Let me see. Let me jump way back ahead here. Let's see. Mr. Gandalf, right back at you. Let me see here. All right. All right. Phil Cox. Hey Chris, what is your best find on Mars? Like I said, there's a bunch of them. That's like it's like generalizing. It's like because there's so many of them that it's just like it's crazy. Like I said, I found one that, and I've said this last time, where it looked like there was some kind of vehicles or something like washed down the crater wall from a photo from Opportunity, and so I thought that was cool. I mean, and I still had that on my Google Plus course. I got rid of that. I think it was in beginning of April or April 11th. They had gotten rid of everybody. So, and you can still actually download it for an archive if you wanted to, but you had like limited time to do that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Let me see. All right. what PR wife is mad had to stop grilling to watch. Well, you got to eat too, though, right? Yeah, I mean, Nicholas Snyder, yeah, he said, yeah, you're right that the governments are working together in multiple ways, even enemies. Well, see, I mean, again, there's probably the general public kind of thing, and, the regular military, they're all fighting amongst each other, this is going on, this country's hating this one, so on and so forth. But then they've got the people who are like above all that, you know what I mean? The government, when I say like the powers that be, are really what's going on, and they're the one that's really controlling what's going on, right? Let's see. Uh, all right, let's see. American Eagle, your last video about the moon. What do you think you uncovered? To me, it looks like an oil rig yacht. Well, the funny thing about it is I've got everybody telling me different things. Like some guys say, well, it looks like some kind of craft or something on the just laying there. I believe there's multiple things. And because what they did was they used that kind of weird overlay to make the mountain, that supposed mountain, all look like one piece. What happens if you were to lift that and then you see all the individuality of all of these pieces? That's what's crazy. And that to me is showing there's a lot more stuff there. So in other words, there's a bunch of stuff laying right there next to the lander. If the lander was actually real, I mean, I don't know if that is actually there. Because if you look at the rest of the photo, man, they did a great job of like reworking that whole photo around every detail, meaning the landing gear, everything else around that lander. So I don't know. Stefan Martinez, I have a craft design I would love to collaborate on. RSVP flying daggers. Okay, you can check that out. Is any video you are working or you are thinking to about other planet ahead? Well, like I said, I've got Venus's that's on deck, and I've got some other work over here on the other computer. I've got some Mars and some more Moon. Yeah, we're going to try to expand a little bit more and get we're going to probably do like a news type feed. So just to get everybody caught up and stuff like that on it, because a lot of people really don't pay no mind to it. Which I mean, you've got. Oh, I'm actually looking at the ISS tracker right now, and it's actually going to be pretty much flying right over Michigan, which I could pick up real easy from here. So yeah, we'll definitely have some stuff coming up, some good stuff. Jung, this guy 100. Have you looked into the Venus photos? Yeah, I have. And like I said, I've got one coming up, so stay tuned for that as well. It might be the next one coming up. And again, it was really hard to bring this stuff out, but it's there. N62 BMW. Hello from Los Angeles. What's going on? Good to have you in there. Let me see. Let me go down here. Man, this thing keeps driving. You guys are like, pshoof. DK, hey Chris, hi from Toronto, Canada. Love your channel. You have a great eye for detail. Off topic, what are your thoughts on 5G technology? Are we doomed? I don't think so. I think they're making a big deal out of it. However, it can be dangerous as far as depending on the frequency that this thing is transmitting and receiving and everything else. Because of course you got these cell towers and everything, right? It can be damaging as far as like giving you cancer if you live next to these things. Now, again, you could do this small, experiment. If you have a business band radio, somewhere around 155 megahertz, like I used to use it before, I would just use it for communication as opposed to like a CB. And of course, it was I think 155.940, if I'm not mistaken. And if you were to put the small antenna that you can screw to the back instead of like an external one on the roof or whatever, you literally can feel that radiation burning your face. It actually feels like you're blushing, but it actually will burn your face. So now, depending on the frequency and the bands that they use, it can really have an effect on you. I mean, that's why they even say just the normal cell towers out there, if you're living next to them, it can have all kinds of adverse effects on the human body. So as far as like being doomed, like this end of the world kind of thing, I don't think that's the case. But I do think if you're next to any cell tower, it's not good for you. And you can look this stuff up. I'm not making this stuff up. You can look it up and see if, what kind of hazards it may create for the human body. Let's see. Eric Wood, yeah, Bruce's last few videos show undeniable proof as well. Thanks to both of you. Yeah, I mean, and I've also tried to get a hold of Bruce. I don't know if he's listening now. I haven't seen him on there yet, but I found him on Skype and I said hello to him. So It was kind of my bad because last time I gave him the wrong name on the Skype. So this time I found him. So hopefully he'll read his email or go check his Skype and he can see it in there and he can just go ahead and accept my invitation to him. And then we can go from there. Because I've got, like I said, he done a video and I've actually got the timestamp. I think it's like 3 minutes into it. It's a little over 3 minutes. And you can see the area is so bright, but if you were to bring it down, and I noticed like there's a square structure, and once you bring all the brightness down, all of a sudden you can see a whole bunch of all kinds of freaking structures right there. But it's the brightness that throws everybody off. It just looks like one just, whited out area. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd love to get him on there and I can show you guys at the same time. Andromeda Native, how did you learn to pick out so much info from these photos? Did you study art or engineering? Just comes naturally? You have eagle eyes. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I guess it's called, you can just say it just honed my skills when I was looking at the way, to be truthful with you, I was looking at a couple Moon, not so much. And then when I first started, I was analyzing a lot of Mars photos, right? So I'm looking at the way they did it. And I'm saying, I wonder if they hide this stuff in the same way they do, in the Mars that they do on the Moon photos. So, and then I was going back and forth and comparing them. And yeah, they've been doing this pretty much the same way since the Moon photos and how they obfuscate and manipulate and everything else on these spot blurring, digitization, where they put these little digital marks looks type thing. I mean, and it's just basically self-taught and just learned how they did it. And then what it took to, once you tried to enhance the photo, some of the photos are not the same. You have to find different options and different ways to bring it out. Like I kind of like what they do with that Moon photo, right? I showed you different ways that I tried to bring it out. Excuse me. In different ways I try to bring it out. And you can see, I mean, you can drag it out if you just find a way. But some photos, they're so on these things that it's hard to bring any of it out. Let me see here. The night ale, I like that. That's pretty funny. I'm so glad NASA didn't hire you to cover up their photos. Otherwise, we wouldn't see shit. Yeah, you got that right. Somebody asked me that one time. They said, man, I wonder if they'd actually ask you to, maybe hire you. So after the photos go through the CGI department and you get the last word and see it, you go, oh, you guys screwed this up. You can still see it here. Take it back. Yeah, I mean, so, that'd be pretty crazy. Eat Schmeat. Can I get a link? Which one are you looking for? Not sure what link you're talking about. Flavor Month. Hey, Chris, how do you think, great question, by the way, how do you think the general public would respond to being told we are not alone? I don't know. I think so many of us become desensitized now, and maybe that's their plan, to actually get people, acclimated to the fact. This is the reason why they might be using channels like mine and many others to desensitize the public even further. Who knows? And this way here, if they ever get bagged or they actually do bring this out, everybody won't be in like major shock. They'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it, But there's a lot of work to do. I mean, I see a lot of other people starting new channels with anything that's got to do with anomalous or whether it be the Moon, Mars, whatever it may be. And I'm glad because more people get in this, the more people see these. And the more they become acclimated to the fact that that's a good possibility. And I think they should. And, with all these movies out there with sci-fi, of course, a lot of them are just, makes it sound like it's all gloom and doom. And like, oh, my God, run for your life. There's a UFO. And I don't believe that was the case. If they are out there, and of course, they've been through Earth's atmosphere, flying on the moon and all this other stuff. To me, seriously, if they were going to annihilate any planet, they would have done it a long time ago. You know what I mean? Or they're just above all that warring crap, right? And they're just waiting for us to get our crap together so they can go, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. But like we had talked about before. So, yeah. Natural Libre. I almost puke laughing watching the latest NASA video where they talk about the great things coming and orbiting moon base. I'm like, start telling the damn truth. Well, it's true though. I mean, what I've heard, and I've been talking to a few folks too, whereas they're saying that there's actually more than one International Space Station out there. And I don't mean just the one that they actually call the ISS. There's actually others out there. And this may be the reason why we don't see a whole lot of stars. You know, you see like the ISS looking down at Earth, you don't see anything like literally going around the Earth. Of course, the Earth is too bright, as opposed to space is so dark. You probably wouldn't see it unless they change the brightness or change the actual brightness of the how much the camera is taking in, and so yeah. Because if they were to lower that, you might actually see these things actually flying around the Earth, and they don't want you to see that. Yeah, photography, light, and magic. Yeah, remember the image you enhanced called blatant obfuscation, hiding intelligently made objects. And I'm almost positive it's the one I think it is. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, crazy stuff there. And you can literally see how they literally taken this out. It's cool. Grover Cleveland Low. You all need to check out Randall Carlson and John Shaughnessy. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Nessie. Deep pockets have ruled this world for years. And you're right. I mean, it's what it comes down to. I think it's a natural curiosity that everybody's like, where do we come from? Can we go out there and take a look? And I think that's where it starts. This is the reason why even back in, I think it was early 40s, it might have been, I'm sorry, not early 40s, late 40s to early 50s, we, both United States and the Soviet Union, when sending probes to Venus, to Mars, all of these places long before we probably ever knew. And at least the public knew, right? And I think they've been doing this, and they found this out a long time ago. It's just taken this the technology to get where we're at, so we can finally do this. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. American Rebel, yes, Bruce always brings out the amazing. Absolutely, I mean, and here's the thing: he's doing great work, and I think that. I think what grabbed me the first video I seen of his where he actually looked like little UFOs, or that's what they are, right? Unidentified, right? Flying above in this kind of haze above the lunar surface. I was like, boom, this guy is a shit. I mean, check this stuff out. I mean, he's just doing it firsthand, telescope to camera, man. That's it. And of course, he brings it to you guys on YouTube. But yeah, awesome. Paulo da Silva, yeah. I think I found you on Twitter. Are you using that platform as well? I am. I'm also using Onstella, and I'm actually I use that because I'm going to have this as a backup plan, guys. Because a lot of these channels are being messed with, and so I'm going to have that as a backup plan. I was uploading videos a while back, and then I just quit. Why? Because I was spending so much time here on YouTube, and I haven't had a chance to update it. So you can find me on Onstella as well. N62 BMW, the 5G is compared to Wi-Fi, shorter distance, more output. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, you could only be like, some frequencies are okay and it's okay. It's not going to really bother you. And then some of them, yeah, they're not good for your system at all. I mean, so you just got to be careful as far as that. That's why a lot of people are like, yeah, you could sell property next to like one of these towers, and you'd have to almost give it away because anybody who's wise to it's going, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to be anywhere next to that thing. Yep. Swampy McGee. Yep. Alex Jones in the studies, the 5G especially oscillates water, vibrating the DNA chains and breaking them, causing mutations and which is called cancer. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you're next to a lot of anything that transmits, and it's like you're just getting this barrage of this energy, it's not good for you. It's just not good at all. Paul McKenzie. This is very enjoyable. Thank you for doing this. Well, I love, connecting with you guys, and I know you guys connect with each other as well. So yeah, it's just awesome. Jackie Chilez 007. Great to see you streaming again and sharing your opinions. Well, I mean, I'm sharing mine, but you guys are sharing yours as well, which is good because, like I said, for me, and I think you guys will all agree, it's more of a learning curve for everybody. And we're trying to check these things out. You guys are suggesting, hey, man, you got to check this out, this photo here, this photo there. And that's what it's all about. I check it out. You guys are checking it out already because, you're actually referring me to the photo. So, it's a learning curve. We're all learning. And that's what it's all about to, as a collective, just find this stuff out. I think it's just, we're just naturally curious anyway, right? Exactly, TR3B. Yeah, this is crazy you bring that up. Could you imagine if they lowered the brightness of an image in space, we'd probably easily see these things flying around there. Exactly. Um, and a lot of people are starting to use these. In fact, there was one. I don't know if there's an article I read how they're talking about. I don't know if it was the infrared or X-ray. It says, now check this out. On this day in space, May 26, 1983, Europe launches Exosat X-ray telescope. What do you need to use an X-ray telescope for? I mean, you'd have to actually research that more, but still, I mean, X-ray? For what reason? I mean, you're trying to see maybe the radiation from the sun, or is there other things they're looking for? Makes you wonder. N62 BMW, keep up the good work, Chris. I'm out. I appreciate you stopping by, man. Let's see. Rit Berry, the ratio of 129 Xeon. Well, basically it is. Yeah, that's what they found in these exploded areas on Mars. And a noble gas to potassium is way high, shows fusion explosions 250 to 400 million years ago can determine by half-life decay. Mars had and has complex life. And I believe that. I mean, and I think it's still there, even though, you look at the areas here on Earth where, like Chernobyl, stuff like that, you couldn't go anywhere near that place. Now you can go next to it now because it's pretty much, a lot of it's died off. Of course, I don't know if I'd lived there, but it's still, you can be there for a certain amount of time. When that happened, good luck with that. Yeah, you're pretty much a dead person. What else was there too? I don't know if you guys heard about the space train, how to see SpaceX Starlink satellite train in the night sky. And basically what it did is, so far I think they put, was it 60 Starlink rather, I'm sorry, satellites in train Thursday, May 24th, and you can see them in the night sky now. Here's how to find out where and when to look. And basically he's trying to put, so everybody in the world can have internet. It's not just, one little specific area. So they're going to actually spread these things out around the planet. I would have to guess it's probably around the equatorial region, and this way here, at least pretty close, in the middle, and giving everybody internet. So that's pretty crazy. We get down here to the bottom here. Let me see. Let me see. Mining for helium-3. Yep, Phil, I believe that. Gerard McDonald. Hey, Chris, great video on the Chinese mission on the far side of the moon. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find more and more of these. I don't know if you guys can find them, but it's hard to find any of these photos. The newest one of the Chang 4, with the U-2 rover. And it's hard to find, man. There's not a whole lot of them out there. So, you got to just it's slim pickings. But then, but I think that's what the problem is. The last time, it's like when they came out with the Chang'e 3 and they were up there at that time, everybody jumped all over these photos, and even I did, and pulled them apart. They didn't like it. And all of a sudden, oh, yeah, we have major problems going on. We're going to have to just go ahead and let us do it scientific studies, and we're not going to show any more to the public. And that's basically what they said. That was it. It's like, you're on your own. See ya. They blur out everything of value. Yep, exactly, Scott. Some people will say, well, why would they blur the stuff out? Why don't they just not show the photo? Well, again, we're not the first ones to see these photos, right? They're those scientists that work for these space agencies. And then they might be with these other geologists that are studying rocks on the moon and so on and so forth. So they still have to show the photos, but what they do is they'll doctor them all up before they show them. So in other words, they can show the rocks in the foreground. Oh, by the way, what do you think of these rocks? And they just go, yeah, well, layering, and they tell them what kind of rock it may be, strata or whatever it may be. And then they move on. That's the end of it. So even if they go, hey, why does it look blurry in the background? I don't know. Just the way we focus the camera. And this way here, they go, oh, okay. None the wiser, just like us. We're fed garbage. And that's the problem. And Eric Widd, thank you, everyone. Got to go. Thanks, Chris. Oh, good seeing you there, Eric. Appreciate you stopping by. Have yourself a good Memorial Day tomorrow. Swampy McGee. Dean Henderson says DARPA created the internet. Silicon Valley is a military enterprise well funded by the city of London, Rothschild, bankers in Europe, black nobility, Elon Musk, Regina. Well, here's the thing. Again, it's the rich people, the filthy rich, that really own this planet, right? That's what it comes down to. Phil, you said I watched a video yesterday. Dutch sat track cam looks awesome. I haven't seen that yet. I heard about it. I haven't seen it. Well, yeah, I mean, I thought about that too there, Boom Osby. Not sure I am a fan of the Starlink. Like in the Dark Knight movies, if all of the computers are connected, they can spy on the entire world and listen in. They have also said, Alexa, listeners when not on. Well, here's the thing. It's like, that's always the possibility. But you got the NSA. They've been doing this for years anyway. I mean, it just, everything's like filtered through the supercomputers and everything else. They know exactly what's going on. There's keywords it looks for, like, when you say the president, you say, well, I'm going to murder him and all this other crap. They listen for those keywords. And, so because of all the stuff that happened on 9/11, so on and so forth. So they'll listen for these keywords. So this way, I mean, you say it enough, they'll pounce on you. And that's, and in a sense, I don't blame them, but how that goes. Crazy Kayla. Hey, Chris. It's been a while. Good to see you. I like your hat. Well, yeah, I like it a lot. My daughter got it for me. And I was like, yeah, that's sweet. Again, it's from SpaceX. So it's pretty sweet. Love it. I don't think I did InfoWars WikiLeaks, rather. Have you seen the Lunar Orbiter 3 photo of the space shuttle on the moon in 1967? Well, I'm trying to remember what was the other one. Maybe you guys can help me out there. The Soviet Union had one identical to the American space shuttle. And in fact, it's rotting away right now. And I think in, I don't want to say the Ukraine. It's not I don't believe it is. Kakistan rather. And they're literally in hangars just sitting there rotting away. But those things were unmanned. And they literally launched them. They flew and came back to Earth and everything all by themselves. And this is before or during, I forget, I think it was just, I'm trying to remember now. Maybe you guys can help me out, because I don't know if it was just before or during when we had our space shuttles. And I always said this, guys, if you can make it to, low orbit, go out there, build all kinds of, build a space station. And of course, they had multiple space shuttles, right? And you can go out there and literally bring man out there, build a space station the size of a football field, might be a hair bit bigger than that now. And now, and they can do that. What's to say they can't just fly right to the moon? Why can't they? It's basically a plane. It can just land on any runway or smooth surface. And then it doesn't need much to get off the moon, right? There's hardly any gravity. You can take off from the moon, just, shut off the engines, just come back to Earth and slow your, descent down and land right here like they always do. I mean, how do we know? I mean, and I believe that's a strong possibility. Yeah, yours and mine too, Mark. It is a dream of mine to see the clear, untouched moon photos. Absolutely. Scott Schmear, I think it is. They already spy on you through your TV and other device you own. Well, I look at it this way. A lot of people say that. And they say, well, they're spying on this, that, and the other. It's like, that's fine. I'm not doing anything wrong. So, even if they are, and of course, there's ways of, you can do that. You can just power everything down when you're not using it. And it'd be a little hard to do that, right? So, but I look at it this way. What are you going to spy on me for? What am I doing? You know what I mean? Phil says, bye, Eric. See you at Bruce's live stream Friday. James Newton, just watched your last video. Awesome as always, sir. Well, I appreciate that. And like I said, I think when you actually think you've seen it all, you kind of look at, you're looking at these photos. Okay, this one's got nothing. Because a lot of people, I have these sarcastic people come on. Oh, is everything like, there's always something with your photo. No, actually, you don't understand. It's like I go through, I don't know how many photos, And I'll just be looking at it, just making sure, okay, let's see if there's anything that's been fudged out or anything like that. And then it'd be worth trying to look into. Well, if there isn't, next, and just keep going aside. You wouldn't believe how many photos I looked at over the years. And it's like, you don't understand. A lot of these photos are just, that's it. Can't find anything next. I'm not going to waste my time nor yours. So that's the way it goes. Yes, UK Jeffrey, yeah. And the name was Buren, the Buren. And it was just like the actual space shuttle we have today. Well, not today, but back in the 80s. TR3B, what are your thoughts on going to the moon in 2024? I think it's a great idea. Of course, we'll have to see how that plays out, right? Because the way I look at it is like, we're going to be fed more lies and more BS, or we can actually see much better stuff and much better quality photos. You might see it if there's nothing there to see. In other words, because I've seen this on Mars, right? And I'm sure you guys have seen it too. Man, some of these photos are they're really pristine. You go, why is this one so good? And the rest of them like blurred out and look like low-res garbage. Because there's something to be seen in them. They clearly are messing with them. Let me see here. Let me see. Scotch man, what did he tell you? You sound like Jay Leno. I have more Alan Alda. But yeah, I think it's actually pretty funny. I think one of you guys said, hey, say hot lips or something like that. That was pretty funny. Exactly. Apollo de Silva, yeah. If they build the ISS in space, why not on the moons and planets? Right. Exactly. What's holding them back? Once, like I said, you build something out in space, right? And then you just use some rockets to get it on trajectory and get it to where you need to be and just get it into its orbit and leave it there. It doesn't have to go there fast, just has to get there. And once it's there, it's in orbit. That's it. And what's to stop them from doing it? Nothing. Kenneth Leah, Chris, have you ever tried the new forensic ad on for Photoshop? It's supposed to be unblurred distant objects like license plate. I haven't tried the new one, but I have tried the online one, the older one, and where you can actually see where they actually played with this, right? And basically, like I always use the term, it's been a lot of information has been redacted, and you can literally see where there's like no detail in these photos. Oh my God, it's crazy. Oh, thanks, Phil. I was going to drop this link myself. I got it right here. If you guys want to see the latest news, and I'll show you this, I'll give you this link. But Phil, thanks for dropping that. I'm going to go ahead and drop this space news too. You guys can just check this out because, believe it or not, I want there's just so much to see on these. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link now. And the idea is it's like I want you guys to be informed just like anybody else. Keep up on this stuff and say, hey, wow, what's going on? Even if it's just normal news. Now, it may not sound, exciting to a lot of people, but when you start to put all these pieces together, right, start looking them up and start going, oh, okay, I see. I get it. And all of this stuff's linked, man. It's just all linked. And it's like sometimes it might be just that piece you got in your head about that. You got the whole puzzle, but that one piece is missing, and that's what will set it off. You're right there, Nacho Libre. Yeah, it's funny. The entire world can do 4K pictures and movies. NASA lives in the past and can only do black and white photos. I wonder how they ever got off this earth. Well, that's what they're showing us, right? We all know the truth about that. These guys are seeing some crazy stuff, and and like I said, I think a lot of these are at least 1080p, at least high definition coming from Mars, the moon. And like I said, they're just, I think they're just using some kind of software to just, they'll copy, instead of just copying it, they'll actually copying it and downgrading it to a low res photo, right? So then, then they pass off to the public. But what they'll do is they'll do obfuscations and anything else they need to do to the photo. So again, it's high res to low res, and then they do all this manipulation. And it's like Joe from Art Alien TV. We were just talking to him and I. And by the way, we'll probably have him on pretty soon. Me and Joe have been friends for years. And the funny thing about it is I told him, I said, you know what? if you look at if you had a high definition photo from Moon or Mars, you would see the manipulation right off the bat instantly. You would see this instantly, but a low res photo, you won't see it. Why? Because the second you try to zoom in, it breaks apart. This is the reason why I make the photo much larger, and I might even throw a little extra blur in there just to get, and just so you don't see that pixelation or these compression artifacts, so on and so forth. You know. Grover Cleveland. Oh, yeah, you're right. Wish I had my old 35 mil. Dark rooms don't lie, and you're right. I mean, go back to the old stuff, man. Never mind this digital stuff. Digital stuff that can easily be manipulated, right? Yeah, I think I did, Phil. I did get it. In fact, I'm going to go over it again and check it. From the solid 2032, I did. Frank, your wife also thinks I sound like Jay Leno, huh? I don't know. I've even, what was the other one there? There was actually three of them people who call me. Alan Alda, Jay Leno, and what was the other one? I'll think of it in a second. I can't think of it now. Pretty funny, though. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but okay. Yeah, I agree. Evil Soul 9G9, I think that is. Way too much brown and red and orange filters going on in Mars photos. We all know it's seen blue skies with clouds just like here, and it's absolutely true. On the Molly cam, they actually have this little door that flaps open and close, and it's actually a red filter. It's an orange filter type thing. It literally will flap open and close. Now, I think on the other cameras, they don't have it, but that doesn't mean they can't just throw a simple red filter over an orange filter, right? They can easily do that over the whole thing. Here's the funny part. If you ever see a photo, and I've seen many of these, when you look at they had one that it showed like the Curiosity. Let's say this is the bottom of the photo. Here's the front of the Curiosity, and the rest of the photo is the rest of the photo, right? It was orange, and I'm saying, okay, well, I get that, if that's the truth. And then when you look at the wheel, it's also orange. I'm going, wait a minute. Why would the actual wheel, it's black. Why would it be the same color as the ground? You can see a little bit of black. You can see there was black, but it was a lot of it. You know why? Because it's an overall layer of filter thrown right over the whole photo, whether it be taken from the Molly or the mass cam, whatever it may be. Yeah, they're just messing with people. Jay Leno, handsome guy. Yeah, no, more like ex-Navy. Rezovsky, hey, what's going on? William Johnson, hey, Chris, raining again in California. How are you? Yeah, I feel you, man. I guess because every time it gets bad here, rains, it's horrible, man. It's crazy. Yeah, InfoWars WikiLeaks. Yeah, if you analyze the EXIF, well, I'm just going to say it that way, data on some NASA photos, they're processed with Photoshop. Yes, and if you go back to the older ones, guess what they used? GIMP. So yeah, I mean, these guys, listen, they've been doing this all along, and they say, well, it's for aesthetics, it's make it look good and make it better, more pleasing to the eyes. Oh, give me a break, man. I get the color thing, I get it, but when you start blurring stuff out of the photo, oh, come on. You know what I mean? What's that got to do with anything? How does that help my eyes? The other thing is, too, I want to ask you guys a big favor. If you can, I know a lot of you guys, and you probably don't want to hear this, but if you, because I know sometimes I use it, try not to use the ad blockers when you're watching the videos, because it actually hurts the channel. Every time you watch it, it's like it's an algorithm. They automatically know that you're not using it. And therefore, you're not seeing the actual commercials or ads that are being on the photo. So if you don't mind, it supports the channel. Try not to use the ad blocker if you can. I know a lot of you guys use it. And to be truthful, I did too a while back. And then all of the channels I was watching, I'm going, man, I'm actually hurting these guys. And because I read up on them saying how it actually blocks out, and they know that you're not watching it. So that channel, doesn't matter what channel it is, doesn't get any ad revenue from it. So it kind of hurts the channel a bit. So if you guys don't mind, try not to use the ad blockers if you can. It'll definitely help out the channel a great deal. And it'd be greatly appreciated. That's a fact, Scott. I bet you wish you had his cars and not his voice. You got that right. Joe Blow, he's in the house. What's going on? Stan Bradley, good night, man. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll be working. That's awesome, isn't it? But don't worry, I'll be throwing some steaks on the barbie later on. Let's see. Scott Schmear. I saw a TR3B hover over Buena Park near Knott's Berry Farm on one night like 7 years ago. A lot of people have been seeing that, man. It's just like, here's the funny part, and I know you guys have seen this too. When you see these talking about the TR3Bs and, but believe it or not, that's like old. If you've seen it now, right now, that's actually the old one. You know what I mean? And that's the crazy part. It's like, that's the old version. You can bet there's much more new one. Like when they came out with the Blackbird, right? That was like, ooh, that was back in the 50s. It came out and nobody knew about it until the 90s. I mean, people made speculations about it and knew it was some kind of special plane, basically invisible to radar. But then they came out in the 90s and said, yeah, we have it. What the, are you kidding me right now? So you could bet whatever you're seeing now, it's being outdone by something much more technologically advanced. Polo de Silva, would you say here? That's true. And the ad blocks is almost like a Trojan. Yeah, I mean, some of these people have said that too. They've been like, oh, yeah, I use ad block because I don't want to see the freaking ads on a video. It's like, well, again, it hurts the video. The uploader is getting hurt by it because it's, the idea is to, help the channel out, right? It gives them revenue and it helps them make the channel bigger for you guys and do more things. In fact, I had a couple things planned. I'm actually thinking about going to the Green Banks radio telescope here in West Virginia. That's about a 3-hour ride, which is not really bad, especially when I drive down to my daughter's down there. It's 1,000 miles straight. I go straight through down where she lives in Florida. So, but yeah, I mean, it actually hurts the channel. And, don't get me wrong. Like I said, every time I'd see an ad, I'd be like, oh my God, you're killing me here. So I got the ad block and then I realized, like I said, some of the channels I was listening to, because I watch a lot myself, right? And it really hurts the channel. It doesn't help them at all. Nacho Libre, I won't disable my ad blocker, but I promise you that I have done in the past, and I'll continue to donate more than the ads can make it. Well, that's the thing too. You know what I mean? It's like, if you guys don't mind, if you want to do that too, I mean, you want to donate $1, $5, whatever the hell it is. I mean, then yeah, use it as much as you want. You know what I mean? But it does actually hurt it in the process. It's not good for the actual channel, any channel. It's not just me. Let's see. Hey, Chris, what's going on? Let's see, Joseph Farrell. Swampy McGee. Joseph Farrell, Dr. Carol Rosen's famous advocate about the order that Dr. Werner von Braun, told her the order in which the elites would process to argue for the weaponization of space. Yeah, and like I said, you guys have seen the video I did about the treaty for space and everything else, right? So yeah, I mean, they want to be top dog. Here's the thing. Any country wants to be top dog, but they don't want to blow themselves to pieces in the process. Think about it. I can say, well, I got all the power in the world, and anybody gives me any crap, I'm going to go ahead and nuke them. I might as well just shoot myself in the face because I'm on the planet. It's going to happen to me too. I'm going to kill everybody I know, and myself included. What's the point? I appreciate it there, Kenneth. Definitely appreciate the support. I definitely want to support you, Chris, and this great channel. Well, again, I appreciate that. It does actually help the channel, man. It really does. And like I said, in the near future, in fact, I was thinking about doing this the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go down to, like I said, Green Banks, the radio telescope. Oh my God, this thing is huge. Just look it up online. It's just awesome. And of course, you can take, a trip through there. They got a guide that brings you through there and all that other good stuff. But they're very meticulous. Get this. You better not have anything on you that transmits. In other words, like my camera I've got here, I got one of these little, I just stick it on this little tripod right now, this little Canon HD camera. And this has Wi-Fi and everything else built into it. It better not be on. They actually have a dead zone around it so it doesn't throw off the receiver because it literally receives X amount of thousands of frequencies. that it receives. So if you got anything, and even the ham operators, if they have to do any kind of work, they literally have to fill out a form, what frequency they're going to be on, what equipment they're using, so on and so forth. So they can literally shut down that frequency or on that frequency, so you don't get, you won't get it from ham radio if it's done right. You won't get any what they call spurious emissions. And what that is if you transmit on one frequency, because the PLL is not locked, the phase lock loop of the radio, it'll literally transmit a ghost frequency up in somewhere else, another band. So that's what so you got to go through hell if you want to just set up over there. So I'd love to be able to go down there, bring the camera down there, and just go through the, just go through there. Because if you remember correctly, I did that one. What was that video on? Let's see if I can remember the name of it off the top of my head. But was it radar image of the moon? Bring out great details, and it was transmitted. Like I said, they transmitted like a radar frequency type thing at the moon, and it was received over here at the. It was transmitted from Arecibo, but received over here in the Green Banks over here in West Virginia. And it's incredibly large. It's just cool. I love all that stuff. So, yeah. Studious realism. You will love the one I just loaded, rather. One of yours is coming up. I'm not sure what you mean. Video? That's the other one, Pyramid 1974. Yeah, Howard Stern. I always thought you sounded like a cross between young Al Michaels and Howard Stern. Shearing at the moon, ignoring the world's doom and gloom, blissful. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it doom and gloom, but I mean, to me, I like to think outside the box, man. They had a meme that I used on my Facebook channel where it says how most people, pray, and it shows, in fact, I got it from my buddy Billy Carson, where he's showing people going like this, and they see the night sky or the evening sky, and it's like praying. Well, the other one just below it says, "This is how I pray," and it shows the whole universe. Because we're part of something much larger, and that's what people need to understand, man. It's not just like, it's just a humdrum kind of thing. It is if you want it to be, and that's not the way I look at it. We are part of something much bigger, and I'll go to my deathbed knowing that, and that's what it comes down to. Lush Rimbaugh. I like that. I love that name. George Duclis ain't got shit on this channel, though I admire Greece and its logo's heavy history. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure about all that, Lush, but I appreciate it. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Natural Libre. Yeah, I actually don't think we could get to fire a nuke at another country now with the interest that has been shown towards nukes. Well, again, I mean, everybody's just saying, listen, I got all this weapons. Go ahead and mess with me. That's basically what they're saying. Who's the top of who's the top dog? Who's on the top of the pecking list? It's like, what? Stop. Let's get along, man. Let's all be, let's be a human race, and let's progress past this. But I don't know what it is, man. Just can't seem to do it. Can't do that. Needs someone to dig earth for resources. Yeah, unfortunately. Paul De Silva, yeah, about the Martian face, I think it has been covered up. Well, not so much covered up. It's been covered up if you want to do like generalization, but it's actually been screwed up. I mean, if you look at the one from the orbiter, it looked a lot better. It was pristine. And you're talking about what? I don't remember if it was actually filmed back then. I believe it was. Okay, so film, and all of a sudden you see the newer photo of the face of Cydonia, and guess what? It's CGI to the max, and they want you to believe this crap. Oh, it was just shadowing. It's not what you thought it was. It's your pareidolia. That's all that is. I don't believe that for a minute, guys. I would rather watch the actual orbiter's photos and believe that more than I believe the other crap. Let me just see something here. I want to make sure this is right. No wonder why. All right, is that better, guys? That volume a little bit better? I don't know if it just dropped off on me or what, but I just noticed it was kind of dropped off. I don't know if that's a little better now. Joe Blow, okay, I lost connection there for a second. Awesome. Answering, sorry, comment. I'm back. Oh, good to see you back. I agree. We fight over race, color, religion, and oil. Ones visiting us here on Earth must think we're dumb as dumb as frick. And that's true to me. It's like I said, these people are barbaric. Why would we want to have anything to do with these people? Yeah, we don't mind going there and just look at them like a rat in a cage kind of thing. We don't mind looking at them, but we're not going to interact with them except for maybe the higher ups, and they're trying to talk with us and everything else. But like I said, if we don't get together as a whole, as a human race, I don't see us progressing. I don't, and it's sad. Joe Blow, Chris, your last vid. I appreciate it, brother. Well, just a little secret about the ads. Use Chromecast and you won't see the ads, but we'll be under the window of the device you're casting. Right, and I agree. Photography, light, and magic. I don't think they that stupid to use nukes. I think they would have learned a lesson from Chernobyl and Fukushima. And you're right. I mean, again, well, those were accidents, though, right? But you've seen the fallout from them, and to me, it just seems like I mean, it's a surefire way to kill them. The whole darn planet. I don't think that's going to be what's going to happen. I think it's going to be through EMP. If they're going to do anything, I mean, what's the perfect way to do it? You're not really killing anybody. You can knock out their resources or their technology, and think about it. And then you can attack a country. So, of course, a lot of the countries now, they're building up their whether it be nuclear power plants, power generating plants, the military's, insulating their stuff for any kind of EMP, whether it be natural, meaning from the sun, or, something we're doing. Joe Blow, hit that like button, guys. That's right. Smash that button. Diana Moore, that's better? Okay, cool. See, I looked at it. I think it was like 59%. I usually like to jack this thing up to like 90 in the volume. So this way we're, have no problem. Nobody has a problem hearing me here. Let's see. In most branches of science, there are dissident minority groups who have been marginalized by mainstream, but which can contain self-qualified scientists and promising unorthodox results. They're the low-hanging fruits that are most likely to lead to to breakthroughs, and would make sure that such areas were adequately funded. Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, if I understand what you're saying, a lot of these, these sciences, these branches of them, they get all the money they need, especially if it's of interest to the world, not so much a local government or whatever. It's for, these scientists and stuff like that. If let's say they're on something like they're working for NASA and they're on there and they say, hey, look, man, look at all of the stuff we're finding on the planet. We need a better telescope on the MRO, or something to much better than the high-rise camera that's on the MRO. Oh, automatically fund them. We're good. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? So to me, it just seems like, yeah, they're going to get the money and besides that, they can steal the money. They really don't need it. I mean, think about it. TRB was just declassified by the Navy. Imagine that. Just like they did with the Blackbird. Same damn thing. Did you get a hold of Bruce about the Moon City Studio Realism? Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to get him on Skype because his Facebook is no longer. So what I'm trying to do is actually get him on the Skype. I had to set up on this computer because I haven't used it, Skype, I don't know how long. We've been using the, last time him and I were on, we used the Facebook live chat. So we did that, and then I just ran it through here. But what I like to do is get on there. If that's his only way of getting communication, that's fine too. So, and I like to show it while he's on so you guys can see, we can actually show his video and then show what I've done, the enhancement. Even though it's rough to see, you can still see these things, man. They're all over the place. It's crazy. Okay, thank you, Dollar. Appreciate that. You gave Bruce sees all the message. Okay, now I actually got it on here right now, and I just told him. I said, "What's up, bro?" It's Chris from Mars Anomalies. I said, let's do another live feed. So, hopefully we'll get the chance to go to his Skype and check it out. And like I said, I got on there. If he did it right now and said, okay, and accepted me, and whoop, you'd hear a noise come on there. So, Grover Cleveland, hello. We need an observatory on Moon and Mars. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be crazy to have that, wouldn't it? What I like is what China did with the Chang 3. On the lander itself, they actually got a telescope on it, which is really bizarre and it's cool at the same time because think about it. There's no atmospheric conditions or distortion to, hinder any kind of photography, or if they're looking through with a telescope out past the moon and past Earth, right? It's perfect. I mean, it's awesome. Louis Longbeard, appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. Hello from Britain again. How's it going, man? Well, it's going pretty good here. Like I said, I'm just happy our nasty weather kind of quit there for a little bit. It was probably about an hour before this live chat. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. I'm thinking the power's going to flicker. I don't care if the power flickers on and off. It ain't going to hurt nothing here. Because like I said, we got it all set up, surge protected and, battery backup. But I'm running 2 computers. It would drain the thing in a hurry. The only thing you'd hear me say was, guys, got to go. But it would protect my computer. Even if the power just surged on and off a few times, it'd be all right. Andrew Starling, hi from Denmark. The question is if the stuff on the moon or Mars are from the ancient advanced civilization from Earth. The Earth is very old. Yeah, I mean, I believe it is. I mean, if you'd have listened to the Mayans where they say we're in the 5th cycle, and of course, a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, 2012, we're all going to die. Kind of, no, that's not what that meant at all. You got these fear-mongering people. I don't know how many of those videos I've seen, in 2012, like, we're all going to die. It was a time for enlightenment. If you talk to these people down in Guatemala and stuff like that, and they're just like, that's not what the case was. It wasn't about we're all going to die kind of thing. It was a time for enlightenment, and that's pretty much it. So, but I believe who was it when it said that was his what's his name? I don't remember his name now, his whole name, but when he said, "I believe we're a civilization with amnesia." And I believe we were at this point at one time. Now, maybe not technologically, like with smartwatches and everything else, but we were pretty brilliant back in the day or back then. And then we had a catastrophic event, and then we had to rebuild. Had another event, we had to rebuild, like the Great Flood, right? Had to rebuild, so on and so forth. This is the reason why you go to these ancient civilizations and they're building blocks that you can't even slip a razor blade through to this day. Like you go to the Great Pyramids, you can't even, and you would think the weight of that stones and everything else alone would settle that thing to where, it wouldn't be true anymore. And that's not true. I mean, these things are literally, you can't slide a blade through them. What's that tell you? Louis Longbeard, appreciate it again, man. Your work is top notch and greatly needed. Well, like I said, I mean, to me, this is your channel now, right? I come out with the stuff, I bring it to you guys, but without you guys, there's no channel, right? That's what it comes down to. So, I'm very appreciative you guys are even here. It helps me want to do the work more and more and more. That's what it comes down to. I'm inspired by you guys wanting to know and have the like minds like myself to want to do this stuff and find out what's in these photos. And it's painstaking, man. There's a lot of things. Like I said, I just go over a lot of photos. Next. Oh, wait a minute. Here's something that's really been doctored up. Let's see what's in this. Whether it be Mars, Venus, the moon. Doesn't really matter, right? Let me see. I'm not sure. Yeah, what do you guys think about that anyway? I'm glad you brought that up, Studio Realism. We didn't go with the comment yesterday like Mars may have. That's true, but I mean, you remember that one it was supposed to be, and I'm trying to remember what it was. It was the asteroid. It says, an asteroid with its own moon will zip past Earth tonight. And of course, that's asteroid 1999 KW4. Funny thing about it is, doesn't it look like the Bennu asteroid? Ryugu, however you pronounce it, Ryugu, depending how you pronounce it, they all have that weird diamond-shaped look to them, and this one's got a moon to it. So, of course, there's wild speculation going on. Oh, my God, it's a spacecraft. It's coming after us and all this other crap. It's like, so, yeah, kind of crazy, right? But what I find amusing and kind of interesting at the same time is that these things are all the same shape. Why? And you can bet they're keeping a close eye on this damn thing. And I don't mean to say we know what its trajectory is, but I mean as far as like what it looks like. Don't think they won't be hitting that thing with an X-ray to see if they can find out what that thing's made out of. They've done it to a lot of planets, including Venus, the moon, which is not a planet, but a body, so on and so forth. They've done it to a lot of planets. And of course, they won't tell you what they found on some of these. So, yeah. SC, yes. Graham Hancock, yes. That's what I was trying to remember. I appreciate you that, brother. Pro gamer. Yeah, the end is near. I'm not so sure about all that. We're not one of those fair-mongering channels there. We don't get into that crap. Let me see here. Image encounters. Yeah, I've seen something like that before too. Noodles. I've seen something like that. Yeah. The Nimitz encounters. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make that live. I just because it was hiding it for some reason, but I think it's because anytime anybody puts some kind of, whether it be a page, an internet page, or whatever, it automatically blocks it. So that's now. I made sure everybody could see that. That's true there, Swampy McGee. The more bloated the military budget becomes, the deeper we sink into the gloom upon realizing how our anxiety increases exponentially with increases to military budget. Well, I don't think people are aware of it, though. That's the crazy part. Like I said, I mean, I use just a simple question. Like I said, you can ask any of your friends, anything about space, or what do you think about, a lander on the moon or a lander on Mars, or, ask them anything. What do you think about the photos of the Hubble telescope? What? They'll look at you like you got 6 heads. I don't get into that crap. And it's a shame people don't, because there's much more going on than they realize. Yep, needs to be done. Get the truth out there. Absolutely. And like I said, because of the way that YouTube is centering a lot of this stuff now, which is crazy, and kind of screwing with free speech, this is the reason why I decided I'm going to have another site too, and with my videos on it as well. And it just comes out to, you don't know what's going to happen to the channel the next time, So you definitely want to keep this going and getting this information out, so on and so forth. So yeah. It's funny how they're just trying to. In fact, there's a huge lawsuit against them. I think it's was it YouTube, Facebook, maybe even Twitter? I think there's a couple other social sites, because they're trying to actually, basically screw with free speech. People don't want that. It's crazy. Let me see here. Venus. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Joe Blow, I think that's the next one I've got on deck. We're going to definitely be checking that out. Swamp guys, get out of here. Exactly, Louis Longbeard. Exactly. That's the reasoning for everything. And I know a lot of people have been going after NASA saying, hey, man, why don't you tell the truth? It's your pareidolia. Like I said, I had friends talk to Emily Lochdawaga, which is on space.com. And a good friend of mine, like I said, he's in, his name's Peter. He was lithographics expert for, I think it was like 12, 13 years. And that's all he did for work. And he says, man, he's the one who turned me on to these, doing the different plates and getting into the raw plating of these photos and so on. He said, man, you can see these photos are so badly, just crazy manipulated. It's sad. It's actually, they need to lose their jobs, man. It's just crazy how they do that. There are building-looking anomalies on Venus as well. Absolutely. And I like I said, I dragged these through and got it through. I mean, you can just see it. I'll even show you the obfuscation in this too. But here's the funny part. I don't know if you guys notice these. You notice how when the the photos are super light, it's harder to see the manipulation. And I'm telling you the truth. It's like you can, if it's super bright, you can see it's so hard to find that manipulation. You can literally see it looks like compression marks, but they're much larger. And what it is like little blur squares. They just put all over that area they don't want you to see. And there's one on this photo where it shows one of the craters, and it's like a block and a block, meaning a blur block on each side of it. And it doesn't even look like a crater once you've enhanced it. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I've done a video on that as well there. Studio Realism, Studios, I'm sorry. I have. I've done one on, I've done a couple videos on Pluto. Pretty crazy. Sweet, Phil. Yeah, I've got the SpaceX Starlink passing over at 1:40 a.m. till 1:50. Only 12 minutes to wait. Going to see if I can capture them going over. Yeah, I mean, if especially if it's a clear night, you'd be golden. Well, I don't know if I would because it's been raining on and off here. The humidity's been so horrendous that you get some serious storms roll through. But if you get a chance to find it or see it, oh yeah, definitely. And they're gonna be all lined up. It's gonna like they call it a train, so you should be able to see it pretty easy. Yeah, Lewis, you're right. Can you imagine if we had the HD photos that NASA has? It would blow our minds. Yeah, I think it would blow our minds, but I think it would still might even scare a few people. And I'm not saying that, the fact that there's structures out there on other planets, but the way they're designed, it may not even be anything we're just used to seeing. And that might be what kind of like strikes us like, oh my God, what the hell? So, and like I said, when the Apollo 11 and other astronauts have gone to the moon, like I said, when they came back, they looked like they were terrified of their mind and wanted to get this off their chest. I'll bet they had to see a shrink when they got out of there because think about it. When you see the guys, like I said, and I've done that where I showed that clip where I showed all these guys are just sitting there like, oh my God, they literally had that, and they got their heads down and they didn't want to be at that press conference. They would rather kill themselves than be there. And you could just see that they would just, it's like yourself. Again, if you were one of these astronauts, went to the moon and seen the things that are on there, they were probably briefed on, okay, this is what you're going to see when you get up there, but we want you to, play the role too. Go ahead and collect the rocks. We'll take photos of it, so on and so forth. But this, in the meantime, we're going to, we might even show fake photos of the moon. We'll put it on the internet. But in the meantime, go ahead and do what we want you to do. And when these guys get up there and they said, a couple of these astronauts said, yeah, there's actually these crafts on the edge of this crater, and they're just basically looking at us. They're just, now I don't know how true that is because I wasn't there, right? But the whole thing is, if that's true, they were literally just going, oh my God, what are these people doing on this freaking moon? And probably trying to figure out what the hell. Oh, how cute, they're learning how to crawl. So, yeah, you just don't know. And I think they're just watching us as we grow, and hopefully they're going, okay, we just hope they, again, get their crap together, and we'll, and then we can just take them with open arms. Whether how long that's going to take, God only knows, right? Doom Punk, I'm late again, but you're here, bro, and that's what it's all about. I'm glad you made it. I just seen something here. Mike Rutherford, you have done a great service for humanity. Thank you for pressing on despite all the trolls. Yeah, we get a bunch of them. And like I said, my buddy Will from What's Up in the Sky 37, he told me a long time ago, man, your channel starts to blow up. Watch all the trolls come out of the woodwork. He was not lying. It's exactly what happens. But, you got to have a tough skin. You say, whatever, next. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Go way down here. Stefan, secrecy for what? Sectors of land. And if you could elaborate on that, I'd like to answer your question if I could. You're right, Andrew Starley. Yeah, in low gravity environment, you can build bigger and different structures. Absolutely. I mean, which here's another thing you guys can think of too. Of two things. One, you look at the structures that are on the moon, they can be huge compared to what we build here, right? Absolutely huge. Now, some people have said that the actual atmosphere, or gravity rather, is actually a lot more than what they're saying about the moon. They're saying now it's like 61%. At least not NASA's not saying that, but that's what they're coming up with. Now, let's say it's lower than that, and I don't really care. The whole point is if the gravity is a lot lower, I mean, think about it. What you can pick up now, you can pick up 3 times more than that on the moon. Which reminds me of another thing. It makes you wonder when you look at the Curiosity rover's wheels. I want you guys to do some math. You got a vehicle that weighs about a ton. So we're talking just, a hair less than 2,000 pounds. Now look up the gravity on Mars and now divide that by 6. So in other words, because you got 6 wheels on the Curiosity rover, what do you think each wheel? And they come out to like 100 and something pounds. Um, it was like 170 pounds or something like that. I forget what it was. I did the math a long time ago. What is puncturing them darn wheels? I mean, these things look like this, like something steel just went wham, just rammed. You can literally see the wheel torn, not dented, torn, with holes in them. And this thing crawls over things. So how can it possibly be puncturing the wheels like it shows? That doesn't make any sense. That rover is a lot lighter on Mars than it is here on Earth. And then again, you divide the weight onto 6 wheels. And there's no way these things wheels should look like that unless they're rolling over things that are much sharper, like sharp metal. Who knows, right? Think about that a minute. Let me see here. Where did you go? I just photograph light and magic. I have enhanced my images. Many images and seen profound things that scared the shit out of me. Yeah, and you're right about that. I mean, it's just some things I don't think people can handle. The fact that maybe life out there, other people, sure, I think people could swallow that with no problem. I think it's what they would see. Now, picture being on the moon where you're no longer here on Earth. In other words, you're protected by other people. You're there and you see these outrageous looking things, maybe even crafts or just structures. Let's suppose they're crash craft. Again, just like the rovers, they put the Apollo mission men, they put them where they needed to be. It wasn't an eeny, meeny, eeny, meeny, miny, mo kind of thing, right? They knew exactly where to put them down. That's where they put them. And what they got there, they were probably like, oh my God. And it probably scared the living hell out of them. Well, yeah, you're lucky there, Joe Blow. Yeah. Here it is, nice and sunny evening, 20 Celsius. That's pretty warm. We've cooled down quite a bit, thank God for that. It's down to about 72 degrees Fahrenheit here. Scott Schmer, rather. I'm not trolling you. I would love you to look at the enhance the photos I took. Yeah, you can go to my if anybody's interested, if they got any photos, any good stuff there, you can just go on Facebook. I got the Mars Anomalies page there, and you can just leave it right there in the nobody else will see them. It'll just be me. You can drop it in there. Send me a message with the photos in there. I take a look at them. Sometimes I don't get to them right away because there's a lot of emails, so on and so forth. Plus, working during the day, so I don't really get to them all that much right away. But I will promise you that. I think I know which one you're talking about here. Let me just take it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, to me, those are crazy. TR3B. I'll go ahead and click on this so everybody can see this. What are your thoughts on the Martian tunnel system? Well, I've done one a while back on that one particular photo about those that look like above ground tunnels, and it look like they go underground as well. And there's this big ball that's inside there, and I'm not sure what that is because it doesn't look like we travel through this tunnel, but yet it was there. It's hard to say. To me, there's more to it than just, I don't know if they call it like a volcanic tunnel system or some goofy thing, but I don't think it would be transparent. And it looked like you could see like the ribs to this actual tunnel, and it was transparent. You can see what looks like this friggin' reflective ball inside this tunnel. So God only knows what that is. All right, Bruce. Yeah. All right. I was wondering why I'm saying these guys are saying Bruce. He must be in there. What's going on, man? Yeah, like I said, I found your name there on Skype. So um, and I've sent you a message. So all you got to do is accept it, and we're golden. And maybe we can, do something on maybe Wednesday this week or whenever you want, whenever you're available. I'm sure these guys would agree. So let me know. Be glad to hook up. Yeah, Louis Longbear. Yeah, we're putting another rover on Mars. I wonder why. Yeah, exactly. These again. Now I'm trying to remember. The opportunity was 100 miles away west of Curiosity, and so wasn't Spirit. But they're all in the equatorial region. Why? It's kind of like if you were to go to the equatorial region here on Earth, where would you see the most growth of plants? So on and so forth. Well, common sense, right? In the warmest parts of the planet, which is in the equatorial region. So you would see like all kinds of crazy things. In fact, you go to some of these jungles and stuff where man doesn't go. There's like species of birds, insects, and whatever else that would probably eat you alive that are there. And so don't tell me these guys are just taking a random stroll with these things. I'll just throw them there and just hope the hell, we'll just take a couple photos, take a Polaroid out. And of course, a Polaroid would probably take better pictures than that thing takes. At least that's what they're showing us, right? Well, that's a good possibility. Photography, light, and magic. Yeah, they probably sent the astronauts to the moon to steal alien technology. Well, I mean, again, if you've seen something here, let's say you're looking at it from a giant telescope, the biggest one you can find in an observatory here, and you look and you see these structures. What's the first thing you think of? Get the hell up there. Let's find out what they are. What's in them. If is there anybody? And of course, they probably watched the area and watched it and watched it. Didn't see anything coming in and out of it. Whatever. Okay, get up there. You would want to do that because it's not yours. Clearly, it's not yours. So it's something else. It's someone else's. So yeah, get up there. Let's have a look. And that's what they were doing. They were doing a hands-on thing on the moon. Had nothing to do with rocks. Please. Like a lot of people were saying, it was petrified wood that was that. Supposedly the rocks, they used petrified wood. Maybe because it was just a bunch of crap that they, again, they're taking stones. I don't think they took stones at all. If they never took any of that technology back, it would be fine with me because here's the thing. Had hands on, they took pictures of it and probably a million photos. What does it cost to how much weight does it take to take a film canister home? I mean, think about it. Or just sitting there, recording it as they're picking it up and rotating it, and the camera's taking these videos, and yeah. William Johnson, any plans for projects with other channels? Yeah, I mean, like I said, had Bruce on. We're gonna have him on again. Joe from Art Alien TV. He's a good friend of mine. We were talking on Friday, and I told him I'd like to have him on again, and we just have a good talk and stuff like that, and people can ask questions, of course, and yeah, I mean, there's other channels I like to collaborate with and get in there with, and so yeah, I'm open to all of that. Yeah, Bruce, I hope you feel better, man. Get rid of them allergies. Take something for it. You'll be all right. Where did it just go? Man, this thing just jumped like a million miles up here. The UAMN TV channel shared a presentation today, 5/26/19. Ken Johnston, former U.S. Navy astronaut, regarding alien bases on the moon. What are your thoughts? Well, he's basically seen in these photos. He's got like I'm going to call it the second generation of copies because there's actual copies of the moon, right? All of the photos they've ever taken, and he's got like these large binders. Again, he was given 5 of these copies and said, "Look, listen, I want you to go ahead and throw these out. We don't need them." And of course, he said, "Well, why don't we give these to a university? Why don't we do something with these things?" And they said, "No, no, whatever. Just go ahead and do what you want with them. Just get rid of them." And of course, he took that like, "Okay." So he threw 3 copies away and kept 2. One, of course, he's got himself, and he put it in another one, and I forget which one it was, the college or university he gave it to, and it wasn't shortly after it disappeared. But he's got the only it was like you got the originals and you got that copy, and then of course there's four of the copies, and his look fantastic compared to the ones you see online. Now, don't get me wrong, they've been messed with. Don't get me wrong, but they have a lot more contrast to them, a lot more detail compared to the crap you see on there now. So this is the reason why I use his when I can, and I believe they're absolutely true. I've seen stuff with my own eyes. There's actually structures all over that moon. Absolutely. Well, not my own eyes, meaning I've been there, but I mean, on through a lot of his photos. In fact, there's what looked like a giant craft, and I've done that one um, on the moon. And I think you can just look for a moon craft. You can just put it in my search bar on my channel, and you can see where I talk about the photos and compare them with the NASA one and to what uh, Ken has, and you can see what looks like a literally a craft, this large structural craft in the background. It's insane. Yep, Renee. Yep, no doubt about it. Yep, they steal alien technology. Well, like I said, I believe it's up there for the grab, right? So everybody's just taking the stuff, just like hell, we'll get it before anybody else does. This is the reason why they try to get up there as soon as they could. Noodles, all any civilization ever needs yeah, self-replicating tunnel boring machines. Elon knows. Well, I mean, you know, I like everything with Elon's trying to do. Right? He's talking about the congestion in cities and stuff like that. So he's got his own boring company where he's been boring a tunnel. I don't know if you've seen that one where he had like the short distance one. I don't know if it was like a mile long or whatever it was. And then of course he had his car in there and was doing driving autonomously. And he's talking with that female reporter, just cruising down this tunnel. And I believe wholeheartedly that that'll be the wave of the future, man. I mean, try to get rid of some of the congestion in some of these cities. So, but what do you do once you get that full, and so on and so forth? They said I forgot who it was that stated that. They said once a civilization grows beyond what they can grow, and they outgrow themselves, it tends to implode the civilization. I hope that's not the truth, but yeah. Michael Stark, Chris, check out AS8, well, so Apollo 8, 13, 2244, or original, and of course 797-35995, Apollo 8 dark side. Very interesting anomalies, especially what is off in the darkness of the moon's edge. Yeah, I mean, I've actually seen some of those, and they're crazy because you can see right there at the Terminator, you can see where there's looks like structures and stuff up there. Yeah, we'll be checking those out again, though. I got to go back through my hard drives, my external hard drive. I got one on each of the computers, and I need to go back through these. I got a crap load of them things I need to go through. Yeah, Bruce, if you're still in there, man, go to your Skype. Go to your Skype and check it out. And this way, at least we don't have to talk today because I don't want to see you like die right there on the camera. So go ahead and just go there and accept the invitation, and then at least we'll know where at least we found it. We can hook up on Skype when you want to. So, but I do hope you feel better. Um, let me see. Oh, okay. Mike Rutherford, I took a close look at those tunnels on Mars. I'm not sure, but it looked like it might be biological. I don't know about that, but I mean, you know what I mean? We don't know what's there. That's the whole thing. But they'd have to be really big. I mean, whatever they are, if they're biological. But is it possible? Sure. I mean, I don't know. We're not there to really see it up close, and all we can do is look at satellite photos. So yeah. Transparent aluminum or aluminium is a real thing, Noodles says. Yeah, I mean, they've got, like I said, if you can only see some of the technology they're using nowadays, it's just crazy. I remember even my brother back in the day when he was in the Air Force, he was an aircraft mechanic working on the A-10 Warthog and all of those things, and some of these jets where I believe it was even the Blackbird, the top secret Blackbird, where literally the thing is so loosely put together purposely. When they'd fire that thing up, all kinds of fluids would just leak out of it until it got in the air and it got up to a certain speed, and everything would just tighten right up and everything would stop leaking. So it's designed for high speed. That's what they do that for. If you made everything tight then, and then of course you flew, it just literally would just come apart and probably implode or whatever. So it's not a good thing. Scott Schmear. I worked as machinist making boring tools. There are so many tunnels under you right now. It would make you sick. And you're probably right. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen those long tunnels that these truck drivers drive through. There was one that was I forget what the heck he said it was. I don't know if it was in Texas or Nevada, and it literally would go all the way to the northeast corner. They'd span everywhere. In fact, one guy says, "Yeah, I've been driving all night through these tunnels." I mean, he literally came out. I've been driving all night in the tunnels. I don't know about you, but you can put on quite a few miles in a tunnel. It's just crazy. And they had a couple of videos where you see the dash cams, and they're just driving and driving and driving, and just going through. It's not like like going through a mountain coming out the other side. These things keep going. So yeah, and they say, "Oh no, it's nothing more than a storage place for like a lot of these large companies." What do you need a tunnel for? What are you gonna? It would be cheaper just to make a warehouse. Why would you tunnel through a whole mountain? For miles upon miles, on end. So let's see. Rover Cleveland, low. Later, y'all. It's nighttime here. Lots of soup, Bruce. Keep bringing the cowbell, Chris. Well, man, you have yourself a good night. I'm glad you stopped in. Good to have you here, and have yourself a good day tomorrow. Don't forget to throw some steaks on them barbies there with the family, and just chill out. Photography like magic. Has anyone ever confronted NASA with the enhanced um, images and asked them to explain why they are lying? They just tell you it's your pareidolia. I've had people tell me that. They said, "Listen, I literally brought, showed them my video links or somebody else's and said, can you please explain this?" It's pareidolia. That's it. That's all to do. Oh, you're just seeing things. Don't worry about it. And that's the way they blow everything off. That's just exactly what they won't even. Some of them won't even, acknowledge it. Like I said, when my buddy Pete had talked to Emily Wachtalager, whatever her name is, Wachtalager, I think it is. And she just said, they were going back and forth. He was asking her professionally, wasn't being crappy with her or nothing like that. Said, "Listen, can you please explain why these textures are here? What can you please explain why these things are being covered up?" So on and so forth. And he used everything like total technical questions. And she went back and forth with him a couple of times. And then she just quit answering him. That was it. Never said another thing about it. So yeah, it's sad that these people like that. They just don't, when they start getting cornered, that's it. They're done. They just stop talking to you. Kumo Queasy, a shopper. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Mars has life on it. The sun. I'm about to end this planet's whole career. Yeah, they actually say is it the sun's getting larger? And of course, everybody's talking about all of this global warming and stuff like that. Well, you know, it's not just man-made. It's the whole solar system is actually warming up. In fact, it does it every 11-year cycle. So it's nothing new. This is the reason why you have a lot more melting of ice on any planet. So yeah. Way too much being seen out there for it to be all pareidolia and rocks in your mind. Exactly. I totally agree. But, that's the crap they'll throw at you. You're just seeing things. Don't worry about it. and that's the end of it. They just blow it right off. Scott Schmear, Fukushima is why you're having shitty weather right now, not chemtrails. I think it's a combination of both, to be truthful with you, because of course, they'll even say there's no such thing as chemtrails; they're all contrails, right? That's not true, because I didn't see all this crap back, at least not a whole lot of it back in the '80s, and now you see it. I mean, I could be it's a nice sunny day. You see these things all over crisscrossing the sky, and I've seen contrails where again you have this hot exhaust coming out and this cold air turns to ice crystals. I get it, but they have to dissipate, and they do. You literally see a jet, and you'll see this trail, and all of a sudden you see it just kind of dissipate, and you don't see it anymore. And then you got chemtrails. These things streak all over the skies, and I know you guys have seen it yourself. You're right, Joe Blow. Yeah, classic. It's all weather balloons. Yeah, swamp gas. Don't forget that too. Diane, they are pot ant. That's why they need tunnels. A lot of times people have said that to me too. They're like almost like a reptilian or some kind of insectoid or something like that. I'm not a big fan of that theory. Of course, I'm not saying it can't be possible. I'm just saying that, I don't know. I just, it's hard to tell. Like I said, we're not there, so we can only speculate. But I don't see it like that. But again, that doesn't mean it can't be, right? MG2, thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, that's right. Smash that like button, guys. Smash it. Hammer time. You're exactly right there, Los Long Bear. Remember when they said that they had a satellite camera that could see the rover's wheel marks of the rover on Mars and the moon, but they get shitty quality images of Mars and the moon. Well, see, that's the thing. That's, two things. I mean, one, remember when China has an orbiter now around Mars, and the first time they did it, it was awesome because all you had to do was put in Photoshop and just hit auto color, and you could see it looked just like Earth. Well, very similar to it anyway, same colors and all. You just had to just darken it up a little bit, meaning enhance it, so you get the colors come out more brilliantly, and you can actually see a blue atmosphere, like an atmosphere around it. You see browns, greens, you can see it all. And people go, well, that's because you're putting it in Photoshop, man. It's just stupid. That's crazy. Well, I don't know. Somebody had asked me, I don't know if you guys remember this, but somebody said, can you put a regular photo in there and then do the same thing, hit auto color, see what it does? Fine. I put a photo of a good friend, Billy Carson, and myself when we were down in visiting when I was down visiting in Florida, and I did that. You know what it changed? The colors got slightly darker. That was it. They didn't change. But yet you could put that photo that's all orange of Mars in there, and it totally changed the colors. It literally, because Photoshop can see the algorithms, it can actually see what it really is, and it totally changed it completely. Took the orange right off. So, yeah. Do an interview with Buzz. Good luck with that. You probably have to pay him about $500,000 rather, just to do it. But yeah, that'd be awesome. Love to. Doompunk, I've watched some documentary of a tunnel technology where the system melts the rock and the laser can tunnel several miles a day. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. If again, we see a lot of stuff what we see in every day, right? But do we know all the technologies? Have we seen it all? Haven't. And that's what I'm saying, man. It's just we just don't know. Every time I see something crazy, I go, man, how do these people come up with this stuff? Why? Because, like I said, there's the most brilliant people on the planet. They're all sitting there going, getting together, putting these big brain pans together, and they're just like, we can come up with this, and well, make it happen. If you make something, people are always gonna. Let's say you make here you go. Back in 1800s, they made a car. Always trying to improve it, make it faster, better, more reliable, so on and so forth, and they'll keep doing it. It's just never ending. You had like the first car back in the 1800s, and you got a Bugatti Veyron. So look at I mean, these things are like friggin' jets on friggin' four wheels, man. And so that's the whole point. It's just like the technology, like jumping leaps and bounds. So I can imagine in 50 years, only 50, what we're gonna have, and that at that point. Yeah, yep. They say we're 40 years behind on tech. Yeah, I think it's closer to 50 to 60, maybe even more than that. Because again, because technology, now you have to it's almost like you have to multiply it now. See, back then it's like, well, remember back in the day where you had like a simple tube, a tabletop radio with all tubes. Then it became like a hybrid. You had a solid state slash tube radio. So you started with capacitors, resistors, all this other stuff, air capacitors for your tuner, and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, now it was all solid state. And then it was, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the day when they had, there was an actual little watch. Well, it wasn't little; it was about this big. It would sit on your wrist. It was an actual TV screen. Of course, people were like, how the hell do you watch a softball game on that? You won't be able to see the ball. But the whole point is they had that back in the 80s, the technology back in then, and then they get forgotten. I haven't seen another one like it. So, it just makes you wonder, how much technology do we don't see? I mean, it's just crazy. Henry Strait, I tried to get on last chat. I could see and hear you. It would not let me on. Well, you're on today, which is good, right? Sweet. No. You think there is a time viewer? Not sure what that is, but um photography, light, and magic. Is it just me, or does the doc sand shit is CGI? Are you talking about on Mars, where it looks like there's little sand dunes, these wispy little um, that gray crap they put on there? William John's not like that. Yeah, someone show pictures clearly from Mars because their people are already up there partying with the Martian women. Ooh, wonder what they are. Are they green? Or are they? If they got kicking curves, yeah, it's like sweet. Noodles. You can't build cars from transparent aluminum, though. Well, we had cars that are all aluminum. See why you couldn't. Brian Norton, what's up, guys? I'm late. Well, better late than never, right? Good to have you on there, man. I'm not sure, Michael. Chris, have you heard about Phil Schneider? He was working on a tunnel project in New Mexico commissioned by the government. His team stumbled upon great ETs already down. They're building massive tunnels. It seemed to me I heard about that. Wasn't it like they broke through like part of the tunnel, or they were trying to go further with it, and somehow it broke into another tunnel system? Was that the one? And uh, and then they discovered. I don't know if they discovered the aliens or something. Somebody else living down there. J. Lewis, they had electric cars in the late 1800s. Yes, they did. 1918. I'm sorry, 1893 and 94 had the first electric car. That's how they started off. Then they went to steam, of course. Then regular combustion, so on and so forth. So yeah, but now look what they've got today. It's like mind blown. So just picture every year like technology getting better, and then all of a sudden now multiply it because it's jumping by leaps and bounds. Now it's not like it's a slow, gradual kind of change. It's like insanely, because now the more you can shrink down electronics, you fit a lot more electronics into a small package, therefore making stuff a lot more high tech. So yeah. Dangerous invisible cars like an engine and seats rolling down the road. That would be pretty funky, wouldn't it? Oh yeah. Scotchman Phil Schneider had 11 attempts on his life until number 12 killed him. See, that's the thing, man. I don't know if you guys heard this too. Um, it was like so many scientists are dying now. It's like one was like there was like a couple in a plane. It was like a small single engine Cessna, boom, crashed into city streets. Accidents everywhere, and then these are people saying, "Well, I found this on in a moon photo or whatever," or they were trying to, you know, get more information and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, it was an accident. We don't know what happened to him. So yeah, it's just crazy how this, if they want to silence you, trust me, they'll do it. By the way, yes, they're green. When you see them, you fall in love. Well, they must be smoking then, huh? Hmm. Guess I have to check that out a little bit more, Michael. Yes, correct. Marines got into a firefight with the Grays. Snyder's hand got blown off, and several soldiers died in the firefight. Yeah, I got to check that out. If anybody's got a link to that, drop it in here. And Jack T, you confirmed it as well. That's Michael Stock. That's what I read as well. Manny, not last time I checked. Let's put it that way. I'm in Gogna 68. Hi, Chris. I like your videos. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of people that are like these whistleblowers, man. They just, you know, they died some weird kind of death, And, oh, okay. Appreciate it there, Michael. I'm going to go ahead and show the link. Go ahead and put that on there. Who do you think these men in black are? Well, basically, I've never personally seen them, but if they are there, obviously they're made, they're there from the government or the military. And like I said, they just, from what I understand, they just show up and boom, you know what I mean? I don't know what happened to him, man. He just fell off a cliff by accident. And that's basically what it comes down to. A lot of people said, well, Chris, you ever see that? I've seen a couple of kind of weird vehicles at my house, but never thought of anything like that. It never bothered me. Of course, you always keep your eye open because you just don't know. And that's what it comes down to. You get in your car, I can just see it now. Everybody's testing their brakes, like just got to make sure. But never can tell, man. Chris, do you think there may be some disclosure in line with the Space Force? I don't know, because to be truthful with you, it's going to be all like kept under the cuff, because like I said, they've already had this back in the 80s. Trump brought this up like a Space Force. Like, we're going to have the Space Force. No. They've had this since the 70s and 80s, as far as I remember them talking about it. So you can bet if the idea was if the idea came out, you could bet they accomplished it some way, somehow. Now, again, they had the Star Wars program back in the 80s, and I believe they had it. I believe because they were talking about either having lasers or warheads on a satellite. And think about it, just fly them up there, just put them out, attach them, and they could just blow up any country or hit any country they wanted, right? Eddie the Eagle has landed. Hello, good sir. Good to see you, Eddie. Yeah. Phil once said, if you hear I've committed suicide, it's not true. They killed me. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me because here's the thing: a lot of these guys are just saying, you know what, some of them do it on like a what do they call it, deathbed confession, right? They're like, man, they keep it suppressed and then just let it all out. And of course, there's no way to confirm it after because they say, well, chances are he was telling the truth because he just figured, what are they gonna do? Kill me? I'm already dying. So, um, yeah, I do actually feel for these people, and it sucks. So, yeah. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right. Randy Doom's got to say hello. What's going on there, Randy? Good to see you in there. Well, it's a good question there, Bob Wire. Yeah, I wonder what JFK knew. Well, that's what they say. They said he was going to try to, get more information out, so on and so forth, and after a speech about going to the moon and all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden, boom. You know what I mean? Um, Chris, have you seen the remastered Apollo 11 Blu-ray? No, I sure haven't. Um, yeah, Scott Schmier, yeah, delete the homophobe, please. Well, you got these people that stealing vids, yeah. Uh, yeah, another case of a closet fag. These people come out of the woodwork, you just got to kind of excuse them. You don't get them all the time, guys. Like I said, these guys are just trolling. Yo, Joe Blow, there you go. Pretty much. Yeah, Jay Lewis, yeah, the Pentagon lost 21 trillion. Yeah, exactly. I wonder where that went. Yeah, Scott, you'll get that. I mean, like I said, you have these people come out of there that, and that's the thing. You get people that just totally don't believe any of this stuff. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh, a bunch of crap. It's, whatever. It's like, hey, listen, you're welcome to your opinion, but to act like a total jerk about it, I think it's hilarious. You can just people talking this stupid crap. I just see you later. I said, just knock them off the table like a dead fly. See ya. Yeah, I think you're right there. Photography, light, and magic. Yeah, if they came out with the truth, no one would believe them, as they've been told so many lies. Maybe that's why they don't tell the truth. Well, I don't know, because if you yourself had done your own research, right, and then they come out tomorrow saying, "Oh, by the way, we found structures on the moon as well as Mars and so on," you just go, "Okay." You'd be like, "Okay, that just confirmed what I've known all this time." So. And then there's other people who just be like, that's a bunch of crap because we never went to the moon. This is that. We live under the firmament. We live in a snow globe. All this crazy stuff. So yeah, you've made a loyal follower today, sir. I appreciate it. Yep, stands for facts are genius. Um, well, like I said, these people got nothing better to do. A lot of times they'll come on there, just jump on there, just say silly things. You've gotten to the point, like I said, when Will told me there, he said, well, again, you have all these trolls, and he's right. But you got to get tough skin because you have everything. I remember talking to other guys that said, "Oh yeah, these guys are telling me to kill myself," and all this. I said, "Oh my god." I think it's funny. These guys got nothing better to do but just be a thorn in somebody's ass. But it is what it is. You got to get that. So I just kind of laugh at them now. That's why you hear me say, "Yeah, right back at you," because a lot of times it'll hold their comment until I either delete it or just go ahead and show it. Right. So I think it's hilarious. Um, Chris Mills, have you thought about these cover-ups in the solar system are at all linked to the cover-up on ancient history? Without getting too crazy, but it's pretty clear civilization existed longer than told. Yeah, I mean it has, and that's the thing. If you remember correctly, back in the day when you were in school, it would say, all right, civilization, man's only like 6,000 years old. Then it was like 10,000 years old. Then 25,000. Now it's up to like 250 million years old. Now, as far as intelligent man. Do we even know how far that goes back? I mean, we can, speculate. They can try to you know, um, test the aging of certain things, and so on and so forth. And I think it goes back much further, and I don't think we know. I think we tried to get the answers. And this is the reason why you'll have these. They'll make these educated guesses. So, but I don't think they really know. Well, you're right there. Fashion Quine, Quani, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. I never argue with idiots. They'll pull you down into their level and beat you with it. Well, and that's the funny part. I used to let it bother me. Now I just think it's hilarious. I find interest into old fashioned cars. Yeah, me too. I mean, I love the idea of simplicity, right? And if we can only bring that back, you know, because it's crazy, Like I said, the first cars were electric, and everybody's like, "Oh my god," you know. Um, I got a question for you guys. Anybody who's into cars, can you name the first front wheel drive car? What automotive company made it? Little trivia. Scott, yeah, I mean, and they weren't real astronauts, in my opinion. They were actors. Um, I don't know if they were actors. In my opinion, I don't think that's the case. I think they were up there really doing the real job. Now they might have been acting the part when they were, showing them. They were literally walking around getting these samples and stuff. I think they were putting on like a PR move or PR show for the people, and so they did that part as far as so they would be actors in that aspect, I guess. But they were up there for much different reason, right? Um, and that's what I think. I mean, they were up there for like probably looking at ancient civilization or some kind of structures, crafts, or whatever it might have been. And I think they were up there for that point and for that reason, rather. Many Palacious. Yeah. Do you think nightclubs on Mars will profit like on the movie Total Recall? I hope we don't come to that. I hope we don't trash that planet if we go there and actually, put a civilization on it. I hope we learn from our mistakes here on Earth and we don't do stupid crap then. Let's see. Doompunk, you say Ford. Then you got Etzel, Ford. I think the first mainstream for me, and I could be wrong, was the Oldsmobile Tornado, and they had them. It was a Tornado, and there was another car very similar to that, where they actually had the first, front wheel drives as far as mass produced. Now there might have been something earlier than that, but um, that's what I remember anyway. Chris, do you believe there's a multiverse? Well, the way they're talking about it is like Um, there's like what is it up to like 11 multiverses or different. What's the word I want to use? It's like different planes of reality, so to speak. 11 dimensions and so on and so forth. Um, I don't know. They claim that there is. Whether there is or not, I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember the movie The Mist. That was pretty cool. Where they were doing these secret experiments and they opened up a wormhole or something like that into the next um, into another dimension. Of course, they had all these weird creatures coming out of there. That was actually pretty funny. Well, and I don't either, Philip. It says me. I don't believe that carbon dating is right. I think after a certain amount of years, it isn't, and they can actually date stuff pretty accurately. But after it gets so old, it just doesn't work anymore. This is the reason why I believe. I think we're much older than we really are, or they really know. So yeah, yeah, Michael Stock. That's what I think too. It was the '66 Oldsmobile Toronado. Because a buddy of mine had one back in the day, and I was curious one day, and I did some research on that. And I think that was the very first, like I said, mass produced um, vehicle. So yep. Well, they actually had bigger than that. The Oldsmobile Toronado had the 455 back in the day, and of course you had the Cadillacs, but those were rear wheel drive, the 501s, stuff like that. When you go back in the 1960s, uh, really, really big engine. And I mean, a buddy of mine had one of those things. That thing was a land barge. It was pretty fast too for what it was, but it had the 455 rocket in it, or the 455 big block in it. Yeah, Eddie the Eagle. Yep, The Mist, an awesome movie with a great twist, and it was. Now here's the funny part. My oldest daughter, was telling me about it. And they said, "Oh, my friend said the movie sucked, and I'm not going to go see it." I said, "Since when do you go listen to what they've got to say?" Because here's the thing: most people, if they're not scientifically minded, they're going to think it sucked. They're going to, oh, so far fetched, it's stupid, blah 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 blah. But if you are and you watch it, you just go, "Wow!" And it's kind of crazy at the end the way that thing goes down. It's just a good movie. I think I got to watch it again. Pretty good. Linda Medina, can I subscribe? Of course. Jump right on there. Let me see. Dulce base was supposedly super secret underground base near the town of Dulce, New Mexico, where aliens hang out and conspire to subjugate the human race. Well, again, if you go to like the Area 51, things like that, now they say there's a new one. Um, if you go to these places, like if you listen to Bob Lazar and all of these guys, when they talk about, those top secret craft, they were reverse engineering them and cloning them and all this other stuff. And I actually believe that happened. There's too much that points to that it's actually real. It's not just one person confirming that or talking about it. Because unless you're there yourself, you can't say, well, yeah, I know firsthand. All you can do is go by what they're telling us. And it's not one person, but more than one person has talked about that. So you got to say, yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like it's the real deal, right? Yeah, I think I remember seeing one of the. I think the first one, Evil Soul '99. They made a TV miniseries of the movie as well of The Mist. It wasn't bad. I don't think I've seen it. It was it. I was going to watch it and I didn't. And I probably said, well, I don't want it to go ruin it for me, so I didn't bother. I just said because the movie itself was pretty darn good, right? Armageddon has started, and no one is telling anyone. Close to 200 rockets have been sent into space, and they are the bow of the White Horseman. Well, Diane, you make a great point. As old as we are, we should be more advanced than we are. Something happened to slow us down. Well, if you remember correctly, you had these accidents with the space shuttles, and had these accidents and stuff, and it put you back like good 8-10 years right off the bat. But that doesn't mean that technology hasn't grown, right? I mean, you can see this thing is still jumping leaps and bounds, but the space program slowed down quite a bit because of these accidents. But did they really slow down? Because we're seeing what the public see, the general public. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't have any idea what else is being sent out in space. And they could be saying, well, we're just doing, what do you call it? They're just testing out a new rocket. That's pretty much it. We don't know. We have no idea. So I think there's much more going on than, like I said, we've being told. All righty. All right, guys, time to sign off. 9:30. Hell, that's been about 2.5 hours. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be about 2.5 hours. I enjoy this, man. I think this is great. We can go on for hours like this, man. Just shooting ideas back and forth, talking about different topics. And I love connecting with you guys. This is awesome. So I thank everybody for stopping in, and it's great, man. And like I said, we're gonna try to get Bruce on there too. I don't know if he's still listening. He might be just sitting by, doing his own thing there, because I think he said he's gonna go throw up a video. So hopefully we'll be able to get together with him. Like I said, we're gonna try to get Joe on there as well. From our Alien TV. He's got some awesome stuff. You want to check his channel out. He's got a lot of crazy things on there, what he's finding in some of these photos. So, and again, just to remind you guys, if you can, try to not use the your ad blockers while on the channel. It helps the channel out. It really does. And it helps me help you guys in the long run. So you're only helping yourselves out. So if you don't mind, try not to do that if you can. It's greatly appreciated. And just keep that in mind when you go to watch my videos and stuff like that. And like I said, guys, we're going to try to bring you better content. So, again, it's just going to help you guys in the long run. So it's good having you guys all on here, as always. I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day tomorrow. Chill with your family. Relax. Be careful if you got to travel. And have yourselves a great day, man. I got to work, but after work, oh, yeah, like I said, we'll be on that Bobby, no doubt about it. Everybody, have yourself a great night, man. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.